What's good, everybody? I'm back right after this. Well, honestly, it doesn't want me to share it, so hold on a second. Well, I can't. Well, I guess I can't do that anymore. I did not know that. You could definitely tell that I haven't been on here in a very long time because usually my intro can work, and right now it's not working. So I guess it's just the intro, outro, video, whatever. But anyways, I'm glad to be back on here. I've had some time to kind of just take a sabbatical, be good, taking care of some things. But hey, we're back and we got different kind of topics to talk about here. I mean, we can talk about from Jake Paul to the P. Diddy verdict to the Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars coming out. We got some wrestling in there. We got some football in there because football season's almost about to begin. Um, a lot of good things are happening now with some stuff. So let's talk about the P. Diddy trial first. The fact of the matter is, this guy, and don't get me wrong, I used to like some of Diddy's music. I was more of a Big fan, but I did like some P. Diddy music. But the fact of the matter is, this guy got away with freaking. He got away with murder, man. I mean, he got away with some stuff on that one. Yeah, he's gonna spend a little bit some time in jail, but we all saw the video, man. He co-cocked that girl, beating the out of her. And what's interesting about that though is that I guess that in some cases are okay to be beaten up on girls like that, but I guess when you got money, you can get away with anything, right? You know, because if that would have been me or any of you guys out there in the YouTube world, if that would have been any of us, we would be spending a lot of time in prison and jail right now. And there's a lot of different sabbatical about it. I mean, if you go with it and think about it, Diddy, you know, you can't look at baby oil the same ever again. I mean, that's just the thing. You cannot look at baby oil the same ever again now. That's pretty much out the window now. So, uh, the dude, the dude's a dirtbag. He got away with murder, man. He really got away with stuff. And the fact of the matter is, he decided that he wanted to. I mean, I could tell. I mean, the fact that there was some human trafficking things with that, and a lot of people don't know this, but human trafficking, the most human trafficking in the United States happens during the Super Bowl weekend. A lot of people may or may not know that, but actually, statistically, it is. Um, I don't know how some of you feel about that or not. I personally think it's I think it's pretty pathetic that you got some people out there wanting to do that to people, and it's a it sucks, man. It really does. And that shows right there that if you in Hollywood and if you are in the music business, no matter what kind of entertainment business, if you're in the entertainment business, you can get away with bloody murder. I mean, look at OJ. I mean, now I feel bad because I was one of the people that when the verdict first happened with OJ, I thought he was innocent. Yeah, I was one of those. So I thought he was innocent, but come to find out, nah, he wasn't innocent, not in the least. But it's a vicious circle out there. I mean, if you are in Hollywood, you can get away with just about anything and everything that you want to do, and that sucks because individuals like us, we don't get a chance to get away with stuff like that. We can't be like, hey, let's do this because as soon as we get caught, we're like I said, we're going to jail for God knows how long and for however long that will be. So the Diddy thing, I read something about a juror came out and said that we acquitted him not because of his celebrity status. Oh fuck, yeah, you did. Don't sit there and lie to people. You know damn good and well that you did that. That you acquitted him because of the money. You acquitted him because this was a big trial. Media was talking about it, and hey, I can tell you right now, Diddy's probably got some good people on his side, and I know there's some people in the political world that's actually been friends with Diddy. A former vice president was one of them. A former president, and Barack Obama was one of them. So I mean, there's no telling what kind of help Mr. Diddy got, but I can honestly tell you, I think he's a piece of shit. And the time that he is in jail or in prison right now, I can guarantee you right now, those guys are probably beating the lowly hell out of Diddy right now. Now, as far as Jake Paul goes, once again, Jake Paul fights one professional real fight and he loses. We all know the whole thing that happened with Tyson, and then he had this fight recently, and he's talking about he was on Pierce Morgan. I don't know if any of y'all can see if you go on YouTube and look up Pierce Morgan, you can see this interview. But apparently, Pierce Morgan pisses off Jake Paul. Jake Paul wants everybody to think that he is this prestigious best boxer in the world. Jake Paul is nothing but a guy who likes to fight fucking bums. And I'm not trying to call Tyson a bum because I love Mike Tyson. But I mean, if you're going to pay me the money that you pay Tyson, yeah, of course, I'm going to throw the fight for you. I mean, you'd be an idiot not to take the money. But at that part of it, though, you really want to just punch that man right in the fucking face. And Jake Paul has got a very punchable face. I don't know how the rest of y'all agree with that, but Jake Paul has got a really punchable face. To me, he does. The fact of the matter is that Jake Paul is considering himself to be one of the best boxers out there, that he can box anybody. When he fought a real opponent that can actually match with him, Jake lost. Now you notice that Jake's not losing anymore. He's bragging. The mofo even said that he can beat Tyson in Tyson's prime. Are you kidding me? Look, it's nice to have confidence. And don't get me wrong, Jake Paul got a lot of confidence. He talks a big game. And that's what a lot of people do. They talk a big game. Usually people who talk cannot back it up. Those that run their mouth on a million different mile an hour basis are usually people who can't back the fuck up. And that to me right there is Jake Paul is trying to be relevant. Him and his brother both. The only difference is his brother is actually pretty damn good in the ring. He's actually pretty damn good in the wrestling ring. Logan's actually... I was not a fan of Logan Paul coming into WWE, but Logan Paul's proven himself. Jake Paul has not proven himself. I mean, who you gonna get out of retirement next? Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis? Are you gonna go dig up Muhammad Ali and try to fight him 1-on-1? I mean, where does this stop? I mean, they always say money talks, bullshit walks. That's something my dad, God rest his soul, used to tell me is that money talks, bullshit walks. Well, money does talk, and money does talk a lot for some of these people to just kind of just, well, I'm just going to lose this fight because this fight needs to be lost. So I don't know. I don't know how the rest of y'all feel about Jake Paul. Um, I know I'm not a very good fan of Jake myself. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out how to do this here. All right, yeah. So you have bear with me here for a minute, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to still do this stuff. How do I still do this? All right, so it's a little layout. Okay. And it's storming now. Well, I'm about to go cut grass here in a little bit. But you know what? Anyway, the whole thing with Jake Paul is that Paul is just a guy who I mean, if you could fight if he can go into the boxing world and fight real authentic boxers now that are in the game, that would be a different story. For me, that would be a different story. I'm like, okay, so you're in the boxing game, you're fighting people, you know what to do. All right. So I'm trying to figure this out here. Sorry, guys. I've been out of the game for a while, so I'm kind of getting used to seeing what this is about and everything. Uh, so bear with me, guys. So, as I was saying, if Jake can fight guys who are really really legitimately fighters, and I'm not just talking about boxers, if he could fight some real legitimate MMA, UFC guys and actually win and actually try and actually win, I would actually be more believable and probably wouldn't be as hard on Jake Paul as I am. But honestly, I think Jake Paul is a guy who, he's definitely full of himself. Both Pauls are. They basically came from YouTube and made themselves into this big, acrobatical, big thing that they are. Um, so, I mean, I don't know. It I guess it depends. If Jake can, like I said, if Jake can actually, like I said, the last legitimate fight, a real legitimate fight he had, he lost. But if he can actually fight somebody that's not like, that's not an old timer, someone that's past his prime, and that person's not throwing the fight for like 20, 30, $40 million, that'd be a different story. But we'll see. Um, everybody knows who's subbed to this channel. You do know, and from the past one, from Kev's point of view, from my old one and this one, then you would know that I am a big comic book fan. Um, as we all know, the Avengers Doomsday is being filmed right now. It's going to have Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Now that Marvel is able to get a hold of all of the heroes and villains that they weren't able to get a hold of when they did Infinity War and Endgame, I'm curious to see what happens. I mean, the Russo brothers did a really good job with Captain America: Civil War, and they did a really fantastic job with the secret with Endgame and Infinity War. I'm curious to see how well they actually do with this one. Right now, a lot of people had a lot of thoughts about Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom, because a lot of people, when you see Robert Downey Jr., you like, wow, that's Iron Man. That is Tony Stark. And some of us were not happy about him being Doctor Doom. Some people were thinking that we were going to have a different Doctor Doom, or we're going to have somebody else play Doom. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. We just got Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom. Now, I want to know how they're going to play that story in there. Are they going to say that he's both Tony Stark and Doctor Doom? I mean, you kind of wonder what they're going to do with it. I know that the original X-Men from the Fox universe will be in this movie. And I hope they give I hope they give Cyclops a little bit more of a bigger role than what Fox did with him, because I really felt like I felt like Cyclops didn't get the respect that he deserved during the Fox X-Men universe thing that they did. I really and I hope they go with the X-Men 97 outfits, like the X-Men animated series. I hope they do comic book accurate, because I would love to see that. Hugh Jackman posted a video of him working out. A lot of times when he's working out, that usually means that he's getting ready to play Wolverine again. Again, some people are wondering, which Wolverine are we going to get? Are we going to get the one he did in Deadpool, like the worst Wolverine? Or are we getting the Fox Universe Wolverine in this one? I'm thinking we're going to get the Deadpool Wolverine. I think him and Ryan Reynolds both will be in this movie. They may not be in this movie fully. They might be more in Secret Wars. But I'm kind of curious to see what happens, because I'm glad that Alan Cummins is coming back as Nightcrawler. I liked him in X-Men United, X-Men 2. I really liked Alan Cummins as Nightcrawler. I thought it was a pretty good role for him. And I know Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are back as Magneto and Professor Xavier. It looks like Patrick Stewart ain't even that man. I don't know what he has or what he takes. Man, I know some of it's, but some of it's that Earl Grey tea, but I don't know. I mean, he looks like he ain't aged a bit. Sir Ian definitely is aged. There's rumors going around there's supposed to be a battle between Magneto and Doctor Doom. And I know that after these two movies, Marvel's talking about redoing the whole entire, like a new Captain America, a new Iron Man, new this, new that. So I don't know what you guys think about that. Like, some of you who are comic book fans, tell me what you guys think about them wanting to redo that, because I know that the mutants are going to be a really big part of Phase 7 in the Marvel universe. So we're going to be seeing new people with that. So we're going to have a new Cyclops, a new Jean, a new Beast, a new Xavier, all that. So And some people have their own fan casting, and that's interesting too, because a lot of people have a lot of fan casting. Wow, it's pretty interesting and creative to see what people do come up with. Some of the picks you're like, wow, really? Or some of them you're like, wow, okay, yeah, I didn't think about that, but that might be pretty good. I will say this. Um, I think that that joke that's in Deadpool and Wolverine where he says you're going to be doing this till you're 90, I don't think that was a joke. I think that Hugh Jackman's going to be doing this for a little bit longer. How much longer? I don't know. I don't think he's going to be doing it till he's 90, but close enough. And one of the biggest surprises in Deadpool and Wolverine was Channing Tatum as Gambit. I'm glad that he's going to be in this movie. Uh, we get to see Channing Tatum again as Gambit. I thought he played Gambit pretty well, actually. I liked his portrayal. Maybe not as good as the other guy was from X-Men Origins, but I I actually thought Channing Tatum did the role, did that Cajun voice pretty well. So I got to give him credit for that. And I know Marvel's been wanting to try to do a new Blade for a while. They casted a guy, hasn't done it yet. I think you can't really do it. I mean, Wesley Snipes to me is legitimately only one man that I think that could play Blade. Um, so I feel bad for this guy being casted to play Blade, but they're not doing anything with it. So you're kind of in that situation now where what do you do? Do you keep going or do you not keep going? And it's just, I know that a new Ghost Rider is supposed to be in the Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. Right now, there's talks of it being, they've tried to talk to Keanu Reeves about it. And I know that they have talked to Ryan Gosling. Yes, yes, that same Ryan Gosling as the Ghost Rider. And I'm not sure about Ryan Gosling. I know that he's a fan favorite in Disney, but I know he's going to be in the new Star Wars trilogy that's coming out. But I'm not sure if I would choose Ryan Gosling to be Ghost Rider. I mean, I thought Nick Cage did great as Ghost Rider, but that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to that. So tell me in the comments section when you guys see this video later, who do you guys would like to see play Ghost Rider in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And we all know that this week, Superman, James Gunn's Superman comes out. I was a big Henry Cavill fan. I really liked Henry Cavill as Superman. So when I first heard about this, I wasn't particularly happy. But James Gunn has done some really good stuff. You see what he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy. I am really kind of eager to see Superman now. I know that the Fantastic Four comes out this month as well. And so that's going to be a good one as well. But the Superman one, he's like your very first ever superhero to ever appear on a comic. I mean, Superman is just iconic. You know, playing that role as Superman, to me, would be an honor. You have to look at it from perspective of how big Superman really is. I mean, he's legitimately one of the biggest comic book adaptations out there. Now, he may not be the biggest, he may not be everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine, But I actually am curious to see what this new kid does as Superman. It looks like we may not be getting a Superman sequel, but the next movie we might get is The World's Finest between Superman and Batman. Now, that ties into what's going on in DC. I know Matt Reeves has been that the second Batman movie with Rob Pattinson has been pushed back twice now, maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure. But they finally got a script done with that. So now that script is done, they're going to be starting filming that later this year. So you're kind of looking at it like, do you want to put Rob Pattinson as the DCU Batman, or do you want to go out and cast him for somebody else? And I'm hoping they get somebody else, because you need to leave that Batman with Matt Reeves in its own entirety. Leave it. Don't bring it into the DCU. Don't bring it into the new DC universe. Just let it be what it be. I think the comic book accurate Batman that I would love to see is kind of close to what Ben Affleck did in Batman v Superman, but just a little bit different. The one thing I would like to see is I would like to see the Batman would have a little bit of like black and blue, like it's blue, but then it's black in the dark. I want, if we saw with Wolverine, when Hugh Jackman put on that mask and he had the white eyes, there should be no reason why Batman cannot have the white eyes. I would love to see that. That's something that has not happened. I would like to see that outfit, that costume. I mean, we saw the black and gray, which was cool. We've seen the full black, but I would like to see a little bit of the Batman animated series, or like the Batman Arkham, the Arkham game series. Any of y'all ever played the video game, you know what I'm talking about. I would like to see something like that for Batman. It would be, I don't know. I think personally it would be something really cool. And you have to have someone that can do Bruce and Batman. You can't just be like, the problem that I had with the Matt Reeves Batman was that, yes, that's the year one Batman, but now Rob Pattinson's almost in his 40s. So now you're kind of at that point where he's not a young Batman no more. And my problem with him is that he was like this little emo kid as Bruce Wayne. And that's not what you're supposed to be. When you play Bruce Wayne, you ain't supposed to be some emo kid. You're supposed to be this rich playboy who looks good in the suit, has got all that money, and not afraid to flaunt it, not afraid to show it. You know, ladies want him. That's the kind of Bruce Wayne you want. And I don't know out there. I don't know if some of y'all ever watch this series, but you know, me and Mel have Paramount Plus. We got done watching all the the Yellowstone, and then the Yellowstone prequels like 1883, 1923. In 1923, there's this guy, Brandon Scars, who plays one of the Duttons. And that, I'm telling you, if you watch the finale, season 2 of 1923, you would see why he would be good not only as Bruce Wayne, but as Batman as well. That dude kicks some serious fucking ass. Will they go that route? I don't know. I know they're looking for a new Wonder Woman, so it won't be Gal Gadot anymore. So they're looking at an improved Wonder Woman as well. I know that they're doing a Clayface show or something, or show or movie that's going to be a rated R, like almost like in a horror film type of deal, which would be pretty cool to see Clayface in that kind of a role. It's just that at first I didn't trust James Gunn. When I first heard about what James Gunn was doing, I'm like, I don't trust this. But now, watching Peacemaker season 1, watching what he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and seeing the trailer for Superman, I don't know what some of you think of the Superman trailer or what you guys have seen so far. I like the fact that they have Crypto. They have the dog in there. I thought that was pretty cool. And I think they found the better. I think they finally found a Lex Luthor that was actually worthy of being Lex Luthor. So I'm curious to see what how he plays Lex Luthor as well. That's a really big piece in Superman puzzle there. But we'll see, guys. What else can we? What else we got here? Oh yeah, wrestling. So when I go on to TikTok or Instagram or X, used to be Twitter, and then Facebook. You want to know the biggest problem with professional wrestling right now, and it's not really the companies. It's not really WWE. It's not TNA. It's not AEW. It is the IWC. It is the internet wrestling fans that is the biggest issue because they all wanted Jey Uso to get boosts, right? So that Jey Uso wins the men's Royal Rumble, goes on, beats Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then they start bitching about him being champion. Like, oh, like him being champion. It's like they can't focus on one thing at a damn time. And then they try to hijack stuff. And they feel like that, yes, I mean, I feel like they do have a voice. We do, because we do pay the tickets. We do pay. I do think TKO is really, I think it's doing a number on WWE because, as you guys know, when we all used to do the E-Feds, we used to put like those little, some of us were doing that. Some of us were doing the ring with the logos on there way before WWE even tried to do it. So let's get that out of the way. So that's kind of where we're at on that. You know, I'm not really big on the logo. Now, I like the way SmackDown is because it's got that old NWA style with the blue mat with the WWE logo. I'm cool with the logo being in the middle of the ring. That's not a that doesn't bother me. But when you got so many sponsors, like when you put a Slim Jim logo on the freaking ladder and on a table, yeah, it's too much. It's way too much. And I feel like that TKO's being way too much. Endeavor is being way too much with these damn logos. It's like, come on. We get it. You know, you're sponsored by Red Bull. You're sponsored by this. We get it. You're sponsored by Hogan's Real American Beer. We get it. It's like, come on. Now, some people don't like the way Triple H does things with the whole pay-per-view only having like 5 or 6 matches. Honestly, it don't bother me. I mean, I know with SummerSlam and the Rumble and WrestleMania and Survivor Series, yes, they're going to go longer matches because SummerSlam for the first time ever is going to 2 nights this year. So people are all pissed off about the whole, like I said, they're pissed off about the whole Jey Uso situation. Now they're mad because Jey Uso lost to Gunther, so Gunther can fight Goldberg. And it's like, why are they giving Goldberg this opportunity? Well, Vince promised Goldberg one more match before his career ended. So they're giving Goldberg that opportunity. I mean, there is logical reasons why people get bitched. They get mad, they get upset. But long-term booking is the best thing to do because that's one thing about Triple H and in what Shawn Michaels is doing in NXT that I liked is that they plan long-term booking. This is not like well, I'm only going to book this for like a month or two, then we're just going to go away from it. We're not doing the Vince McMahon style booking anymore. There's actually a plan in place, which I know some people get very frustrated and very like irritated by that, but I'm curious. I mean, some people are going to lose their shit if Goldberg beats Gunther on Saturday night's main event this year and this weekend. I know people are going to lose their shit, but what if Seth Rollins cashes in on him? Seth Rollins decides to come out there, Braun Breaker hits Goldberg with that big ass spear. Shows who really should have the spear now. And we go into SummerSlam. Goldberg decides to do the last match against Braun Breaker instead of Gunther. And then Seth Rollins wins the World Heavyweight Championship. And that could be a Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, or a Seth Rollins, CM Punk at SummerSlam for the WWE World Championship. There's things that they can do. And I think that people really just need to kind of just chill. I love what TNA is doing. TNA is doing a really good job. They're battling back to where they're good. They're putting on really good shows. I think their partnership with WWE has really helped them out tremendously. Uh, then there's also the rumor now that Britt Baker's wanting to leave AEW. And if that's the case and she leaves AEW, there is no reason why I don't think that she wouldn't be on WWE unless she just does not want to go to there. She wants to go to TNA or something instead. If I was her, I would try to go to NWA Power. Like, try to build NWA back up to where it needs to be. That's kind of where I would be, but people go with the money, and right now, as much as the WrestleMania tickets, I had a friend that lives in Vegas. He went to WrestleMania this year, took his son, first time his son ever went, first time he ever went. So they went to WrestleMania 41 this year. And when he told me the ticket prices, ticket prices for WrestleMania used to be expensive as it is, but holy shit, man. Ever since they have been with TKO, those tickets are just more expensive than I ever say. When you used to go to like SmackDown or you would go to Raw, I'd look at the SmackDown's coming here this weekend, actually on Friday. And the tickets for that is just outrageous. Fucking outrageous. And it's not just, it's insane. They really have done a number on this whole entire fucking thing. Like, they're going crazy with it. But hey, people are buying the tickets. Say what you want to say, but people are buying the tickets. And I'm at the point too where I'm actually liking. Then they had WWE's Women's Evolution 2 pay-per-view. Apparently, it's not doing too well as far as ticket sales goes, and people are bitching that WWE really didn't book it very much. But that's what happens when you book a pay-per-view right after Saturday night's main event. I would have booked the women's pay-per-view maybe next week or the week after. I definitely wouldn't have done it right after Saturday night's main event, and I definitely wouldn't have done it during a AEW pay-per-view either. That's just you're just asking for it at that point. Women's wrestling's been great. Don't get me wrong. They really have put on some bangers lately, and some of them have actually been better than the men's matches. But do they deserve to have a pay-per-view of their own? No. I don't think so. And I'm not trying to be sexist with that comment. I'm just trying to say that honestly, I feel like there's not you got Rhea Ripley. Yeah, you got Becky. You got Bayley. You got Charlotte. You got Alexa Bliss. You got Jade. You got Naomi, Bianca, and all of them. You got all these Io Sky, and you got Tiffany Stratton. You got all these women. And yeah, they're bringing back Trish. And yeah, you can bring back Michelle McCool. You can bring back Lita. You can bring back Kelly and Beth Phoenix. And hey, Chingo, I actually agree with what you just said. they haven't even really promoted it well, and that's my thing about it. I'm interested, and I would love, and I'm probably going to see it anyways. But I rarely see anything about it too, and that's my issue with this whole damn thing is that they just you don't. There's been really no booking for it. I mean, yes, Liv Morgan had that injury, so that kind of took away a little bit of what they were doing with Nikki and Liv, but you really haven't done anything to promote it. Okay, so you're going to put Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the women's championship. Okay. And yeah, you're going to put Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus. We all know that Tiffany's going to beat Trish Stratus. Now, if you really want to shock the world, I would have Naomi cashing in on her, on either one of them, and then face Jade Cargill at SummerSlam, and a feud that needs to end between Jade and Naomi. Naomi's done a really good job as a heel. I actually like her heel persona, and I think it suits her very well. But I just don't see a lot of promotion. They're not really promoting it. That's the thing. I mean, they're promoting this Goldberg and Gunther match more than they are anything in the entire world right now. And then doing all these video packages about Goldberg and how he used to be and stuff like that. We all know that that's not the Goldberg we used to see. And yes, Goldberg did injure himself before he faced Brock in 2016. You know what? I would love to see her cash in at SummerSlam, but if you really want to make some noise, the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, I think that might be a good thing, but SummerSlam probably would be better because, say, for example, if Jade beats Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, she cashes it in on Jade, and once again, after she took Jade out, it would make a lot more sense to do it at SummerSlam. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to like throw in like a little wrench in the plans, you could do it at Women's Evolution. I mean, Naomi definitely is perfect right now. She's a natural born heel. Some people in wrestling can do heel and face at the same time and do it perfectly. I think Naomi is just better as a heel. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even mind seeing Bianca as a heel. But I think this Jade and Naomi thing, I think is leading towards a Naomi Bianca thing. I really do. Or maybe a Jade versus Bianca. That could be something that I think I think that's where it's leading towards. But getting back to Goldberg, when he injured himself, he had an opportunity to say something about it, but he didn't. And his shoulder was fucked up. That's the reason why we saw a lot of sloppiness from him. I know a lot of us out there want to see Gunther chop the crap out of him, and I know a lot of people want to see Gunther choke him out. And I don't blame a lot of wrestling fans on that because Goldberg is kind of an asshole. He really is. But what I would like to see is, if you trust Gunther as your world champion, then you have Gunther beat Goldberg. But if you want Seth Rollins to beat a guy, then you have to put Seth Rollins in there somehow. And I don't think Seth Rollins might be the one who would cash in on the Cena Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. I could see him doing that as well. But this thing with him and Punk's going to end eventually. And this Punk and Rollins feud reminds me so much of Shawn and Brett back in '97. It really has that same animosity to it. Is it as big as Brett and Shawn? No, but it's got that same feel to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I would love to see is something like that. I would love to see that, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. Um, it could be they could be leading towards that. Um, we saw a little bit of that Punk and Gunther thing on Monday night last week, so I'm thinking. I don't think Gunther is Goldberg's last match. I think we're gonna see Goldberg versus Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. I don't know why, but something just tells me that's where we're going. And that would be the one guy, Goldberg's got a lot of history with the Steiners. That'd be the one guy I would be like, you know what? Goldberg loses to Braun Breaker. He passes that torch. Braun Breaker's now the man that should do the spear. And I agree with Undertaker. Nobody else should be doing the spear. I don't even think Roman Reigns should. Jey Uso shouldn't. But Braun Breaker should be the only motherfucker doing that spear right now on WWE. And that's flat out honest. I mean, you saw what he did to you saw what he did to Speed at Royal Rumble. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like that would be fire, right? So it's like you have like let's say for example Goldberg's about to beat Gunther, Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker come out. Goldberg gets Goldberg hits the jackhammer. Referee gets distracted. Braun comes in there, spears the living shit out of Goldberg. Gunther goes over there, pins him 1, 2, 3. But Rollins teases that he's going to cash in. Punk stops him from cashing in, which builds more to Punk and Rollins, but also Punk can be like, you know what? I'm going to challenge Gunther for the world title at SummerSlam. And then that thing would happen with that can happen right there. And then Goldberg can have that last match with Braun Breaker. And Braun Breaker could be like, Goldberg could be like, you know what? I lost this match. Braun Breaker's just now the man. He's the spear god. I'm done. And he actually does something nice for Braun Breaker because Braun Breaker's favorite wrestler growing up was Goldberg. That's why he has that tattoo on his arm. I think it would be mean more if Braun Breaker would be the one to end Goldberg, not Gunther. And that's just something that I would think if you're going to go, if you're going to dig into history of it, that would be what I would go with. But then again, I'm not a booker on WWE, so I can't really say. But I'm just saying that would be something that if you really want to put a realism in the story, which Triple H likes to do, I would do it to where Goldberg gets screwed out of beating Gunther. He's pissed. He wants a match. Braun Breaker's like, look, you and me is SummerSlam. So that way you have Goldberg and Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's a 2-night event. And so, yeah, it would be something nice to see. But that would be my idea for that. As far as Punk and Gunther, I've heard about them fighting on at the house shows, and they have been really good together. I think Gunther needs to wrestle somebody that can really elevate him even more. Like I'm not saying that Jey Uso couldn't, but a guy like Punk would probably elevate him more to it. And you know what Punk could do is, I mean, what Rollins could do is exactly the same thing he did at WrestleMania 31. Halfway through the match, he can cash in, make it a triple threat, and end up beating both Gunther and Punk. I mean, that's something else that they could do too. What does everybody think about Cena's heel turn lately? I know that it was slow at first because they did the thing in Elimination Chamber, and The Rock didn't show up again. I actually love Cena's heel turn. The more it's progressing, the more we're getting closer to his last date in December. It's been great. Like I really like what Cena's done, and I mean, it's too little, too late. I mean, I wish we would have had this heel turn long ago, but it looks like to me right now, John Cena's having fun. He's just having fun. It's his last year. He looked like he's having a good time, and but it is cool that you see signs of him trying to come back to being the face, and you definitely saw it during Night of Champions when he picked up Bronson Reed and Steph Rollins and did the attitude adjustment. You saw it firsthand there. I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if SummerSlam, if Cody beats Cena, that there's a double heel turn. There's a double turn, like Cody turns heel, Cena turns face. I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if like The Rock shows up and then Cody finally sells his soul, and then they screw Cena out of the WWE Championship, and Cody's now a heel, and Cody did some heel tactics to Randy Orton at Night of Champions, so I would not be shocked if we see that, or we see Randy Orton screw Cody out of the championship match at SummerSlam. I'm there's a lot of different there's a lot of different things they got to do, but I feel like if Cena's going to retire, you need to have him either a retire as a face, or you need to have him retire with the championship and then have a just have a new belt altogether. I mean, right now Cena is killing it. That feud with him and Punk really put a little bit of a shot in the arm that needed to happen. So, and that's, to me, I think what we're seeing is really good. Once Cody turns heel, it's going to be crazy. Imagine he pulls out a little Homelander theme. Yeah, he does look like Homelander for sure. I mean, I mean, Cody could be a good heel. I think that, and the reason why a lot of people did not like Cody's run as champion, because it was I hate to say it, but it was dull. It was really nothing exciting about him being champion. I mean, yeah, he did. Yeah, he finally finished the story. He beat Roman Reigns. Finally got that championship that his dad wanted, that his dad had, but got taken away from him. Yeah, it's nice, but they didn't really do much with Cody when he had the belt. Sure, he has some match. He has some good matches with yeah, he has some matches with AJ Styles. He has some matches with Kevin Owens, but what did you really do with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you really do with him? It's I feel like Cody is better at chasing the belt. If he's a face, he's better at chasing it than he is with the championship. But if you turn Cody heel, you might get a lot more personality out of him. I just feel like Cody is this clean cut all American boy, and I think a lot of people, just a lot of wrestling fans, don't like that. There's some that do, there's some that don't. But I feel like if you need to really turn Cody heel, you need to get him something fresh, because he's been with WWE. He's been back since 2022, since WrestleMania 38. He main evented WrestleMania 39, 40, and 41. Obviously, he's going to main event one of the WrestleManias again, probably at WrestleMania 42. So you need to do something that will give Cody a big shot in the arm. And I feel like turning heel, I saw The Rock's interview on Pat McAfee. And I can see what The Rock was trying to say, that turning Cody heel down the road. People look at that interview and they're like, wow, well, he's trying to undermine Triple H and blah blah blah. No, what I saw on that one. Yep, I agree there. I agree there, Chingo. That's pretty much it. But if you go back and watch The Rock's interview with Pat McAfee after WrestleMania 41, there's subliminal messages in that interview where he said eventually down the road we'll eventually down the road we'll go down and see about Cody turning heel. I'm telling you, there is long term booking going on that a lot of us think that we know, but we don't know. And I am all for that. I don't want to know. I know some of these wrestling fans will fight each other. They'll be like, "Oh, you're wrong." No, 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 no. I'm like, look, just let them cook. Let them cook up something. Even if something's not good right at the moment, doesn't mean it's not going to be a banger at SummerSlam. That's just something that, and some people don't some people don't like the whole Netflix thing with WWE right now. Like WWE only does like 3 or 4, maybe 5 matches, and that's it. But in all honesty, I don't know if y'all like it. I just like, yeah, I agree, Chingo. I just love professional wrestling. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. I'm 43 now, and I loved it ever since I was a kid. Um, and it's just one of those things where if you love this business so much, you just want it to succeed no matter what. You want it to succeed. You want it to be there because I want it to be there when I'm like in my 80s and 90s and I'm in this rocket chair or a wheelchair, wherever the fuck it is. I want wrestling to still be on there for generations to come. Will it be? I don't know. But right now, NXT's in great hands with Shawn Michaels. Triple H has done a lot of good things, but he's also done some bad things. But then again, that's just part of the business. Every promoter has done something good, but has also done something bad. I feel like WWE, I feel like Triple H doesn't get enough credit. TNA is thriving too. That's what time to be alive. Yep, TNA is thriving as well, and that's just TNA. I loved TNA back in the old days when it was like the Asylum, and right before Hogan and Bischoff took over, TNA was peaked. But TNA looks really good now, and TNA is doing great. They are putting on some good shows. They're putting on some good numbers. Their partnership with WWE. These are things that we wouldn't have got if Vince McMahon was still in charge. The fact that WWE now has AAA Mexican wrestling now. They have all this. Yeah, I'm glad as well, and I like the fact that WWE has these chances because now it kind of reminds me back in the day of the old territories. It's back in the territory days where you would use wrestlers for other promotions and rent them out or just it's kind of what they're doing now. You know, having Trick Williams, an NXT star, be the TNA World Champion, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Definitely not bad at all. So, this really, I feel like, helps out not only WWE, but it helps out TNA and it helps out professional wrestling as a whole because right now, even TNA is doing better than AEW. Sorry to tell AEW fans that, but facts are facts. I mean, I want AEW to do well as well because that just keeps money in the pocket for these wrestlers and it keeps having good competition keeps you and on your toes, and it keeps you on your keeps you level headed. So it's good to have that kind of thing in there. But I would love to see WWE do even more stuff. Like I know they have Evolve and they have AAA, and now they have that show. Excuse me, they had that show LFG, and I watched season one. I'm just watching season two now. But you, the future is bright. The future looks really good right now. Whether or not they book the right people, though, is left to be desired. I think that the fact that you see, I would love to see a WrestleMania in England. I really, I mean, because we saw SummerSlam '92 with Bret Hart and British Bulldog at Wembley Stadium. I would love to see WrestleMania go there. I would love to see WrestleMania in England. I really think, because I hate to say this, but overseas fans beat us a lot. Let's see, what did you say there, Mr. Chingo? And I feel like AEW is too cocky. Like most of the stuff I see is just pure negative. I enjoy their wrestling, but dang, imagine AEW was like WWE and be open to collaborate like a Super Survivor Series. Yeah, and a lot of the reason why AEW is cocky is because of Tony Khan. I tell people all the time, if Tony Khan just stayed away and just signed the paychecks, stayed away from creative, stayed away from everything, and let people who know wrestling be the booker and the producer, and you just stay back and be the silent guy that just signs the paychecks, AEW would be in a hell of a lot better place. But the problem is Tony Khan is so competitive and he's so cocky, and he thinks that they could beat WWE here, they could do this, they can do that. And I'm just like, yo, you're talking about a company that has 50, 60, 70 years over you. You're talking about a company that's been around when it was WWF, and that was around when WWF, and then now WWE. You're talking about a company that's got a lot of different, lot of tradition, they have a lot of sponsors, they have a lot of people, and it's just, you think that just because your company has been around for what, 5, 6, 7 years now? Yeah, Punk. Yeah, Tony made a fool of himself during that whole CM Punk thing. He sided with the EVPs and Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and all them. He sided with them, and Punk made him pay for it. And to be honest with you, I don't even think the Young Bucks are even that good in the first place. I mean, they're just. I just like to watch wrestling. I mean, but I do like the fact that AEW did bring back the Hurt Business, but called it the Hurt Syndicate. I really think that is something Triple H failed. He could have put that back together, but it's okay. That happens. It's fine. Things happen in this world. You move on from it. But I really do think that we're going to see. I just like to go back and watch what they do creatively. That's just my thing. I love long term booking, and that's something that when you got to build towards something. You have to. It's like making soup. You got to put in the ingredients. You got to let it simmer, and you got to let it boil and broth over. You can't just expect, hey, I just put all these ingredients in. The soup should be ready in about 20 minutes. That's not how it works. And some of these wrestling fans do not understand that, and they want their cake and eat it too. And I'm just like, look, let them build towards something. They're still building the bloodline. They're still doing it with Jacob Fatu. Eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if Jacob Fatu's brother appears and then helps him against Solo Sokola and all of them. I mean, it's just there's still stuff going on with that. Uh, I mean, you're seeing a different time with WWE, and you're seeing a different. You're seeing them putting on 5-star matches even on Monday Night Raw. I mean, that's just something that you didn't get when you had Vince there. Um, I really wish that they would build this women's evolution a little bit more. I wonder that too. I wonder if Tama Tonga does stay with Solo or joins Jacob. That would be interesting to see right there. See what they do with that. And by the way, they need to book Penta a lot more. I mean, I loved Penta before he came to WWE, but damn, have they turned Penta into a bigger star than what he was? I mean, they have done a really good job with Penta, and they done a job. They done a good job with Ethan Page and NXT. They done a good job with Ricky Starks, aka Saints. I know that a lot of people are not happy that Mariah May is not going to be called Mariah May, that she's called Blake, you know, Blake Monroe on NXT, but WWE makes you into a star. That's just how it is. Look at Jade Cargill. She's a star now. I mean, is she the best as far as wrestling goes? Yeah. He does need to be in the world title. I am fully 110% agree with that. Give Someone needs to give Chingo a fucking like bonus or something for that one, because I feel like he deserves to be in the world title picture as well. I mean, Penta is just killing it, and I can't wait to. I mean, I have the 2K25 finally, so I can't wait to play him. I know he's a downloadable content on the 23rd, which I love. I can't wait to play Penta on there. That'd just be fun. Um, but anyways, though, I've been on for a little longer than I was going to be, but I'll definitely be back on here for some more wrestling content. That seems to be some really good conversations going on here. Chingo, I appreciate you making some comments and talking and everything. I appreciate that. Anyways, though, let me guys know in the comments what you guys think about the stuff I said in the beginning. And hope everyone had a great, safe 4th of July. You take care as well. Everybody take care. Peace and love.